nightmare, high life, sleepy, night-night, flashes, spotlight, cooling, nice.
Yo, what is up guys, Mando here bringing you a brand new video, and today I am going to be going back to something that has gotten me a lot of views and a lot of likes and a lot of subs as a whole. I am going to be telling a story. But before I begin that story, if you guys could please leave a like, rating, and subscribe for more content, that would be absolutely amazing. It will really help me out, and it takes all of 2 clicks of a button. But let's get right into this story. And today I am going to be talking about something pretty funny, kind of asshole-like, but it's pretty funny, and it begins with my friend Matthew. Now, the funny thing about him is that he is a very interesting fellow. I don't know, man, he's just, he can be very comical, and at the same time, kind of an ass to people, but it's mostly like satirical, and it's not really meant to affect anyone in any way. Long story short, he doesn't take anything seriously and doesn't really think much of anything, but at the same time you kind of gotta love him just because of who he is. But a little while back he did something kind of funny that I want to talk about, and it began when we were hanging out at Panda Express. So we live relatively close to each other. He lives like all of 2 blocks down from me, so of course we hang out a lot with my other friend BPK, who I'll leave his YouTube channel down in the description. But I was hanging with him and Matthew, and of course we decided to go to the Panda Express, which is right down the street from us, and that was a very interesting trip because I didn't really bring any money, didn't want to get any food, but who cares about all that stuff anyway. But so we went to Panda and we decided to hang out, and so this kid, he walks in and he's wearing, you know, fake Yeezys, kind of just your average elementary school white boy, whatever. Really no way to describe this properly, but he looked like a pretty innocent kid. So of course, Matthew being Matthew, he decides to pull a little prank on him. And if there is one rule to pranking, it's not to mess with kids really ever. But Matthew decided to go for this just because of the kind of person he was. And he basically, what he did was he tricked this kid into thinking he was in FAZE, and that's not necessarily like the best thing to do or the nicest. Is actually pretty douchey, to be honest. But Matthew is not a bad actor, and he played this role pretty goddamn well, so I gotta give him a shout out for that. But what he did was just kind of unforgivable, and it began with this kid walking in, as I said, and Matthew just he tried to launch a YouTube channel, but he decided not to, and it was gonna be called Revel. So what he does is he sees this kid and thinks, you know, this kid probably watches FaZe Clan, something like that. He whispers into BPK in my ears, saying, you know, hey, watch what I'm about to do. And I knew right then and there that it was going to be something either mean or just plain stupid, just because of the kind of person he is. It ended up being both, but I'm not really one to judge here. So he goes up to this kid and says, hey, do you watch FaZe Clan? And of course the kid's like, yeah, a little bit, not too much. And then Matthew goes full douche and says, hey, yo, I'm FaZe Revel. And right then and there, BPK and I are trying as hard as humanly possible not to laugh, because that would just blow the whole thing, and it would make us look just, I don't even know, man, like assholes. And so we just decided, you know what, we're gonna let Matthew do his thing. We're not really gonna intervene on this one. We'll let him take care of this whole prank on his own. And it worked. So Matthew, you know, tells this kid, hey, I'm FaZe Revel. And the dumbest part of this is when the kid says, hey, I know you from YouTube. And that's the part where I knew this kid really is not a FaZe supporter, because FaZe has no guys who look like they're stuck in between puberty and childhood on their whole team. So this kid's clearly, you know, just playing along with the gag. He doesn't think it's a gag, but he's playing along with it just that maybe he could, you know, get that, hey, I met a famous person vibe. And he really believed it. He thought he did. So this kid, you know, starts freaking out in the Panda Express. And it was insanely tough not to laugh as just hard as humanly possible, just because of the context of this and the way it happened. And it was honestly the dumbest thing I've ever seen, but it worked, and the kid kind of freaked out, so he asks his mom for her phone so he can take a selfie. And of course, you know, this kid kind of takes a low angle selfie like kids who aren't really interested in photography do. And so he takes this kind of crappy picture, and oh god, then things get insane. So so the kid takes the picture, and I hop in too, and he asks like, who are you? And I say, yo, I'm his friend. I helped him get where he is today. And you know, the kid was like, okay. But I mean, BPK is just saying on the other side of the table, trying not to just completely die or wet his pants at that exact moment. And the kid keeps playing along with it. He's still freaking out, you know, gives a high five and the FAZE up sign. And that's about it. The kid just, you know, gets his food, tells his mom. She seems pretty happy for him. And they leave the Panda Express. And the second they leave and walk out of sight, I couldn't handle myself anymore. I just laughed like absolutely crazy, like a hyena. And it was, God. To everyone else in the Panda Express, I'm really sorry that you had to witness this this kind of ignorant little kid, but hey, it happens, you know, that's life. But that was about the end of the story. The kid never came back. We never saw the kid again. And so Matthew had someone tricked into thinking he was in FAZE, and at that moment Matthew felt as special as someone who actually joined FAZE, because that'll probably be the first and last time he ever felt that rush. So if you guys enjoyed, please leave a like rating. If you guys want to see some more content, drop a subscribe. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have a lot more stories, and I guess I will see you guys soon. Bye.